Hi, and welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. I am your host, Kamaria Richmond, and we have another wonderful show for you this afternoon. We are talking to Mr. Anthony Brown, and he has a wonderful foundation. It's called The Dream for It, and I'm excited to talk to him because the foundation is so exciting. So, Anthony Brown, welcome to the Ed Brown Show.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So now give us your story.
Okay, I'm president of a nonprofit, as you referenced. It's the Dream for It Foundation. The foundation was founded about 12 years ago based on a song that I had written. I had written a song entitled Dream, and we were debuting the song, and a friend of mine suggested we should do a concert. Because of the inspirational message of the song, he said, when we do the concert, why don't we give out some educational scholarships? So we did it that first year, 2008. I called it a sensational summer night. And here 12 years later, we've been doing the concert for 12 years, and to date, we've given out $140,000 in educational scholarships.
That is amazing. Now tell us why you started the foundation, and what was the driving force to do that?
Well, I think I've sung since I was in college. I've sung gospel music and I've written songs, and you always are looking for opportunities to promote and share your music. I was on an airplane one day traveling back from a trip, and the melody came in my mind for this song entitled Dream. So once I got the song written, you know, we had to then share it with persons, and so we started the nonprofit. But then, you know, it was just a thought, we'll give out some scholarships, but I can kind of push myself, so within maybe 2 or 3 weeks, we had registered the trade name, and I'd met with somebody for a 501(c)(3), and that process took a couple of years, but I think the song and the message of the song were the inspiration for the foundation.
That's amazing, and you are offering these amazing scholarships. Now, how do our young people apply for the scholarship? What age range are you looking for? And I know they have to have like a 3.0 GPA.
Okay. And that's not that tough these days. It was tough for me some days, but
right.
You know, these are really sharp kids. Again, we established a website. It has criteria, and I'll share that now, www.dreamforit.net, and that's dream with the number 4, it.net. But it's an application process where you do an essay and have to have a certain grade point average, as you said, 3.0, recommendation letters. So it's the traditional application process. However, we think we're a bit different because it's our desire not to only give out a scholarship, but to stay connected to the young people. So as I shared, we started in 2008. To date, we've given out about 60 scholarships. I said the amount, $140,000, and it's worth repeating because we're so proud of it. And we stay connected to the young people. We have reunions every Thanksgiving weekend. We host what we call a gobble Thanksgiving reunion event. Kids come through, say how things are going, challenges. We bring in somebody to speak to them. So it's all on our website. It's a traditional application process. But I like to think of the Dream for It Foundation as more of a movement rather than just a scholarship. Scholarships, you know, they range between $2,000 and $3,000, but our desire is to really stay connected to these young people and provide inspiration over all 4 years of their college journey.
That's powerful and is affordable. Well, now it's not really affordable for a lot of kids. And so, are you looking at inner city youth, or this is just anyone can apply?
Right now, our criteria, the applications are for high school seniors.
Okay.
So our desire, our framework is to give young people a great start as they go to school. So a high school senior can apply for our scholarship for their first year of college. We haven't said it has to be inner city. It hasn't been economics or income based. It's strictly the criteria of the grade point average, et cetera, because what we've observed, even some of the smarter young people who may have access to other scholarships and access to other resources, college is expensive for everyone.
Right.
When you think about the books, when you think about living expenses, et cetera. So we haven't, at this point, limited who can apply except for the high school senior for your first year. So that's what we've done to this point. We're celebrating 12 years. I'm not sure where we'll be 12 years from now, but we're excited about where we are right now.
Oh, well, I'll see. I know that you're going to be there another 12 years,
Okay,
another 12 years.
I received that.
And so why do you use the number 4? So dream for it. Why are you using the number 4?
Well, when we started the foundation, we just kind of said, I mean, it was one of my musicians, his name is Rusty Saunders. And I'm telling you, we were sitting around the keyboard or the office and came up with this in 5 or 10 minutes, you know, so we didn't have a lot of time to kind of overthink it, you know, so we said dream for it. You know, the song I wrote was entitled Dream. So we said the Dream Foundation, and maybe he said or I said sort of like dream for it. And instead of FOR, we did the number 4. So I wish I had a deeper meaning than that. I got to come up with one. But, you know, so, but it's Dream for it, and it's survived for 12 years, so I probably won't change it. But it's really connected to that song, you know, which tells persons to go after their dreams. Has a lyric in it that says, life isn't a fairy tale. It has twists and it has turns, but you'll prevail. You know, it's one of my favorite lines from the song because I have to remind young people, I have to remind myself of that. You know, life isn't a fairy tale and it doesn't come in a nice package with a bow, with a fairy tale ending. It really has a lot of twists. It really has a lot of turns. But my push to young people and to myself, when I do the foundation, I'm encouraging myself and not only young people, middle-aged and old persons too, that even though there are twists and there are turns, you'll prevail.
And that's so important to say that you have to do that for yourself too every day. I mean, that really, when you talk to a young person, you can say, you know what, I go through that too. As an adult, I've been out in the world working and striving to do the best and be the best that I could be, but it's work.
It is. But like I said, we stay connected to the young people, have the reunion every weekend. I talk to 1 or 2 of them every other week, where I'll just call them. I got them all listed in my phone, and I'll call to encourage them. I ate lunch with one of them last year, and he was going through, well, do you ever wonder if you're doing the right thing? And do you ever wonder what's next? So, and maybe he didn't ask me the question. He was saying, he wonders, or in first person, he was saying, I wonder what's next, and I wonder if I'm doing the right thing, or if I should be doing something different. And I was able to share with him, I wonder the same things. You know, maybe not as much and in the same context that you do, but there are days when I wonder, am I doing the right thing? Have I stayed at this place too long? Should I be moving somewhere different? If I go in that direction, you know, what'll happen? What's next, et cetera. I said, so those are struggles and wrestles that all of us have throughout our lives. So the message of dreaming and empowerment and encouragement is a multi-generational message. And
that's so important, because when a young person sees, when you say, okay, I have some doubts, and they're like, okay, well, you're old and you have some doubts.
Exactly.
haven't you been doing this a long time?
Yeah, you know, you're old and you're seasoned and you're working on a job. I mean, I'm 56 now, you know, so there are days when I'm thinking about retirement, where they're thinking about marriage and children, et cetera, but I'm still dreaming. You know, so in an environment of still dreaming, you wonder, what is the dream and what is next? So I think you wonder that and you wrestle through that at all seasons of your life. And I think we should be concerned when we stop wrestling, when we stop dreaming, and we stop pursuing what's next. I did my vision board a couple of weeks ago, and on it I cut something out of a newspaper that said, I'm not content to ride off into the sunset. I still feel as though I have something to offer people, God, society, so I'm still at it.
That is amazing. That is so powerful.
Yes.
Now, do you encourage your young people to do vision boards?
I haven't. I did one a couple weeks ago because my trainer was with me, and he kind of said, oh, I finished my vision board this weekend, and I've been trying to get my goals documented, and I had done something last year much more extensive, and it was a Word document, and it ended up being about 3 pages, and I blew it up and put it on my wall. And once he said vision board, I said, well, maybe that's what I'll do for this year. So I took 2 or 3 days, and I cut and I pasted and put things on a board, and it's up in, I put a version in my room at home, office at home, and then I did a version at my office at my church. So it's a visual reminder of some of the things I'm hoping to do this year, or going to do this year.
Right. And that's the thing about the vision board. I was talking to someone who just knew that she wanted to work in the Obama administration, and she had it on her vision board. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I am going to work in President Obama's administration.
That's awesome.
And it happened.
That's awesome.
And it happens. So using that vision board can be very powerful.
Yes.
Now, what other programs do you offer at the Dream for It Foundation?
We do book stipends. We have, when you say programs, I'll talk programmatically. We give out scholarships. We give out book stipends. Programmatically, under our foundation, we've been really, I'll use the word blessed, that 2 families have established scholarships that operate under our foundation. Reginald Combs Memorial Scholarship, Mark Edward Griffin Memorial Scholarship. Reginald Combs was the father of a very dear friend of mine. He lived to be 99. Education was always a priority to him. He worked, he had to leave school when he was younger to take care of family. He worked hard to put all 3 of his kids through private schools and through college. So when their father passed, they established a scholarship under our foundation. So we award scholarships in memory of Reginald Combs. And unfortunately, I had a college roommate pass away 2 years ago, and his wife and their church established the Mark Edward Griffin Memorial Scholarship under our foundation. We've given out 2 Combs scholarships, and real excited, in 2019, we'll give out the first Mark Edward Griffin Scholarship. So we've got specific funds, we give out book stipends. Those are the programmatic elements under our foundation.
The book stipends are that's very important, because books. I mean, I graduated in 1990, and one book was like $300, $400.
Yes.
But talking about Mr. Combs, I read on your site, he worked 5 jobs.
Yes, worked several jobs to keep his kids in private schools for high school, and then to send them to college. That became his mission. So I get so excited every time we award one of those scholars, and we do our best to take the time to let the scholars know what the scholarship means. We hold a concert every year called Sensational Summer Night. You might remember when I started the interview, I said that first year we had to debut the song, so we created the Dream Foundation, and we called it the Sensational Summer Night. And I had this vision that we were going to be outside on the lawn, and we'd be under the stars, and I'd do this great big concert, etc. And my producer was sort of like, nobody wants to sit outside when it's 90 degrees for a concert. And I'm like, they do it for Barbara Streisand and people like that. They'll do it for me. He's like, they won't, So once I got over there, we did it indoors. But it was very successful, and we did it that first year, and that was 12 years ago. This year, 2019, on August 23rd, 2019, I said that, it will be Sensational Summer Night 12. We have done the concert for 12 years.
Wow.
It's a benefit concert of pop, R&B, and gospel music. I'm a singer, so I sang along with several of my friends, and we've had national artists like gospel singer Lorna Harris and gospel singer Marette Brown Clark have been with us, and then we've had local artists, Alton Scarborough, Doreen Vale, and Khadijah. You know, we've had a lot of talent come through over the past 12 years. Year after year, we do this concert.
Now, you just said, oh, well, and I sing. You have an incredible voice.
Thank you so much.
You do more than
Thank
just,
you.
oh, I sing.
Yes.
Oh, no, you do
Thank you so much.
way more than that. And I was on YouTube, and I was like, your voice is powerful. It's soft, but it's still very powerful.
Yes, thank you so much.
And I was like, wow.
It's a gift from God.
It is a gift.
It really is. It
So
really
how
is a
did
gift.
you-
I had nothing to do with it.
Right, right. How did you start singing? Like, when did you know
Well,
that you had that gift?
We're talking about dreams, and keep in mind it's kind of built into this foundation. I share with persons I was 4, 5, or 6 years old, and I realized I could sing. That young, I kind of discovered it, kind of listening to the Michael Jackson records, and I was sort of like, wow, I can do that. However, I had two things kind of going on. I was heavy, and so I didn't want to bring any more attention to myself than I already had to. And then when I started singing, I had a higher voice. So I didn't want to sound like a girl, and then I was heavy, so I kept it under wraps. I knew it, but I
Really?
never did it. And until I got to college. And when I got to college, one of my missions for college, in addition to going to college, was I was going to join my college gospel choir. When I applied for college, so probably by my sophomore year, I believe, I got up enough nerve in the fall semester to join the choir. And then the rest is history. I started singing, and you know, and I knew I could sing. You know, I hadn't done it, but you know, so after some shaping and some, you know, so I guess it's like a basketball player who can play basketball, but you haven't done it.
Right.
You know, so it took some tweaking, and also to God be the glory. And I'd say that the rest is kind of history, because I've literally sung all over the world. I connected with a traveling choir who went to Europe every summer, and I did that for 6 years. And then I recorded CDs, and I've recorded DVDs. We record the concert. So I've been very, very, very blessed. So I haven't, where some persons have waited for a record company to discover them, to legitimize their craft, etc. God blessed me, and I had extra resources where I could produce some of my own music. And so I've been doing that since 2006, 2 years before I wrote the song Dream. Yeah.
Wow, and that's such a powerful story. That's something to say to these young people. This is really what a dream looks like.
Yeah, it is.
You know, you have this dream, you have this gift, and sometimes you know you have the gift,
Yes.
and then sometimes you don't. Sometimes
Yes.
someone has to kind of just draw it out of you. And do you have those kinds of conversations?
Oh, I do. I want to give, I keep plugging this song. There's a line in the song that says, there are reasons people don't shine, things happen in life that try and undermine even God's purpose, His will, and His plan. So I share that lyric because there are reasons people don't succeed and they don't shine, because there are factors and forces in life that try to undermine or stall even God's plan. And sometimes it's ourselves internally. Remember, I was heavy and I didn't want to sound like a girl. So internally, even before I got the chance to put it external, I was blocking it myself. So that's internal. Then you got the external. You know, it's probably only a matter of time before I did it externally and somebody reminded me, you're heavy and you sound like a girl, you know, so that would have confirmed it. You know, so I do share that with young persons, and I think I share my story, and I just encourage them to rise above the obstacles to go for it and to listen to the wisdom of persons who've gone the road before you and all. So it's a joy.
I mean, and that has to be for a young person that you're working with to say, this is what I went through.
Yes.
It happened to me, so it can happen to you.
Yeah.
And in having a dream, sometimes it's just even hard to have a dream.
It is.
Because we're in such challenging times.
Yeah. Isn't that I like how you said that. The thing came to my mind, in these challenging times, who has time to dream? Because you're trying to stay above water, but it's almost imperative that you keep dreaming despite all the obstacles. So maybe that's why you've got to do it with young persons. I was talking to a niece of mine. She wants to start a business, etc. And I observed another one of your shows where a young man was talking about entrepreneurship, etc. And simultaneously, when I was watching that show, my niece called me, and she's talking about, oh, I want to change the name for my company, and I want to have a storefront with a first and second floor. The first floor is where I do my eyeglasses. Second floor is a photography studio. And I'm saying, you know, it's amazing you're telling me this, because I'm sitting here listening to a guy talking about, you know, preserving your dreams, etc. So I had that thought, who has time to dream? But if you don't, you know, what's the Langston Hughes, hold fast to dreams?
Right.
For if dreams die, you know, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. And in so many situations, real life situations, have people sitting on the side of the road with broken wings. You know, so we've got to encourage each other, and that's why your show so valuable. Allowing me on it, because somebody will hear it and they'll listen and they'll say, "Hey, I gotta revive this dream. I know I gotta put food on the table, and I know I gotta raise the children, and I know I gotta ride the bus, and I know I've got to work 60 hours a week, but there's something out there that God has called me to do, or I feel like I can leave as a legacy, and why not? Why not go for it?"
Right, and that's when you really have to take the time for yourself.
Yes.
Because a lot of folks don't take the times for themselves. Because once you do that, then you can help others do the same. And tell us about your music.
Oh, my music. Oh, yeah. You got something. Well, I've released a number of CDs beginning in 2006. It was a Christmas CD, Dreams Come True This Christmas. It's amazing when I look back over my life that God was speaking this dream concept even before I started the foundation. Dreams come true this Christmas. I was a worship leader at my church. They hired somebody else to handle that. I was never paid to do it. I just did it. And I sat on the pulpit discouraged and grieving. They say every loss must be grieved. Right. So I was grieving that I used to do that. I used to lead that worship and do that. And while I sat there, God reminded me, but there's a gift inside of you also. So I wrote that song, A Gift in You. And I went to my pastor and said, I'm going to release a Christmas CD. And it was August. And he was like, this year? And I was like, yeah. Right. And by December or November, we had recorded and produced 8 songs for Dreams Come True this Christmas. We followed that up with a Dream CD, did a CD of hymns, probably I think that was 2008 or 9, CD of hymns as a tribute to all these great persons who I met when I joined my church, Morning Star Baptist Church, and all the seniors kind of embraced me, and I sat there having never heard these hymns of the church, and they anchored me, so I recorded a CD of hymns, and then I've done a CD of Black History music, praise and worship, a lot of music. A lot of music. www.anthonybrownmusic.com.
Yes, and I just encourage everyone, go to YouTube.
Yes.
And you will hear some incredible.
Dr. Anthony Brown, Dr. Anthony Brown. And you say that not because I have a doctorate, and I'm grateful for that, but there are a lot of Anthony Browns.
There is.
You know, so if you tell people to go to YouTube, Anthony Brown, and there's one Anthony Brown, he's a friend of mine, and he's a national artist, whereas I'm a local artist, so he's got a lot of attention, so I'm trying to increase my attention. So on my YouTube, I put either Dr. Dr. period Anthony Brown or Reverend Anthony Brown. So you can find a host of music if you go there.
I'm glad you said that because I was going through Anthony. This is Anthony Brown.
And you got J. Anthony Brown.
And
You got Anthony Brown in group therapy. You got a lot of Anthony
Right,
Browns.
that's okay. Doctor
or Reverend.
Reverend.
Yes.
Anthony Brown, and then you popped up, and it is so. I'm like, there are a lot of Anthony Browns.
Yes, it is. You know, so it's a lot of music. You know, I got my hymns out there, my gospel. I did a praise and worship CD in 2014. Here this past year, I did a Christmas CD. Remember, my original Christmas CD was "Dreams Come True This Christmas." Favorite music is Christmas. "Dreams Come True This Christmas," 2006. Then in 2014, I did another Christmas CD, all new Christmas music, called Christmas Again. Christmas Again. And then this year, and remember, I haven't waited for a record company. If I wait for a record company, you're not able to do the greatest hits CD, so I can't wait for them. I got to do my own.
You got to do it now.
So I did a greatest hits Christmas CD, pulling some of the songs off both CDs and adding a couple new songs, and we called it Christmas Once Again. You know, so that came out last year. So and we tour and promote the music locally and regionally. We get around sharing the music. So so I'm living my dream. You know, somebody asked me the other day. They were like, "Well, what's your dream?" And it kind of stumped me. And then I kind of answered them. I said, "I think I'm doing it.
Right.
I mean, I'm running a foundation. I'm sharing my music. I mean, I think I want to win a Grammy, but that is a dream. I don't know if that's a dream or I don't know which one, but I think I'm living my dream, not without a struggle. Because keep in mind, I said it earlier, I have to motivate myself and wonder if I'm doing the right thing. And what we all do, we look at the person on the other side of the fence and say, it seems so much easier for them, or they're doing this, or they got that invitation, or they, you know, they're interviewing that person, you know. So I have to encourage myself and hold fast to the word of God that he knows the plans he has for me, prosper me, not to harm me, hope in the future.
Right, and that is so important to say, to kind of question.
Yes.
Am I doing what I want to do? Do I have this best life? Am I living my best life? What more is there to do? And we have just a few seconds.
Yes.
Tell us how everyone can contact you.
Yes. All right.
Because I know you have your website, so we want to give all that information out one more time.
Okay. You have some websites for the foundation, www.dreamforit.net, and you said it well, the number 4, www.dreamforit.net. My music, www.anthonybrownmusic.com. And can I share a phone number?
Yes.
Okay. And the foundation phone number is 443-472-3311. And I'll give it again, 443-472-3311. Because I know people will be excited about my music once they hear it. But the word scholarships, and it's difficult times. People are often looking. The kids have dreams. They want to go to school. www.dreamforit.net. I'm not offended if you start there and you don't start with my music, because I want to see young people inspired also.
Yes, thank you, Reverend Dr. Anthony Brown.
Thank you.
And
thank you for allowing me to be here.
Oh, my pleasure. I couldn't wait for that voice. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your day.